and trying to get traction on these cold, icy roads.
Yeah, this is just thick ice, and right here you can see this roadway right here. This is where a lot of vehicles we saw just kind of stall out, and they had problems gaining that traction, like you just mentioned, right here on one of these side roads. And it's not even a main highway, so you can imagine just that continuation of any precipitation. We're not seeing any right now, but the continuation of any sort of precipitation will continue to layer this ice, and they say that's a big concern, especially when it continues to just get thicker and thicker layers of ice on those bridges and overpasses. That's what TxDOT says is a big concern. TxDOT here in Fort Worth, they're recommending not to take any of those bridges or those overpasses, because that's where you'll see some of that black ice starting to accumulate all over that area. Again, we will have more updates here on Spectrum News 1, and you can
has been showing us some of the damage the heaviness of this ice can cause, Charlotte.
Yeah, well, we've moved locations again and found a lot more damage. So right over here, you can see an uprooted tree. It's massive. So I don't know how old this tree was, but all the leaves up there are covered in icicles, and I think it was just too heavy to stand any longer after this rain that we've had in Austin, these freezing temperatures. And right now I'm near North Lamar, just tripped right there, North Lamar and Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. There is a power line right here. So if you think about it, if this tree had just gone a little bit, a few steps over, it could have hit this power line. And what we're seeing in Austin is a lot of these branches are covered in icicles. I mean, if you look just where, our photographer is pointing the camera, these trees are all covered in ice. And that has led to tons of power outages in the Austin area. There are about 125,000 Austin Energy customers without power right now, about 53,000 Encore Energy customers without power. And that can be caused like massive trees like this, trees like the ones over here, covered in icicles and ice that just become too heavy, hit a power line, and then there are local outages. So that's what we're really watching today, all this damage from the ice that makes these trees so heavy that they fall over. And we have been seeing there is a hill behind me on Martin Luther King. We've seen some cars go up and down this hill. Right now in Austin, what we're seeing on the ground is mostly water, so they seem to be fine, but as you've said all morning, it's best to stay inside because of these dangerous conditions and things like trees falling over, hitting power lines. It's just really dangerous outside right now. We'll send it back to you in the studio.
Behind you.
It is, and it's going to be getting worse. We're seeing right now some freezing rain as well as some ice pellets landing on top of us right now, and that's landing here. I'm going to show you. I'm going to have my photographer just pan down, kind of show you the ground right now. Now, this is just completely slippery, and what happens is when this rain just falls down, it continues to make this ice that's already standing here on this street even slicker and even harder. So that's something we want drivers, if you are on the road, of course, if you can, avoid being on the road altogether. But if you are driving, make sure you're driving extremely slowly. This is just a street right here, but imagine those roads that are on the highway, those get black ice quick, especially with these conditions that we're seeing right now. This is freezing rain that's landing on top of us. We want to make sure if you're driving on an overpass or a bridge, just slow down, give yourself some extra time. There may be some cars in front of you. TxDOT also has crews out there cleaning situations, cleaning car accidents, and they want to make sure that everyone just gives them space, especially if you're out there. They say, put on your lights, make sure to turn on those lights. If you're driving, just give everybody a decent space. If you're driving around them, make sure you're giving them a lot of extra room. I'm going to send it back to you guys.